Is your website turning away customers without you even knowing about it? In this video, we're going to talk about common problems with websites, issues that I see all the time, and in addition to the problems, what the solutions are for that. Your website is the first impression that customers have of your business. So making sure that your site is tight and is not turning away customers is truly important. One of the first problems that I come across is poor navigation. And that leads to a frustrated user experience with high bounce rates. So basically people will come to your site, they can't find what they want, and then they leave. So a solution to that is really spending time in the navigation menu, make sure that that is clear and easy to navigate, and make sure that you have call to actions in the appropriate places throughout the site. And be consistent with your call to actions as far as your branding, your coloring, the font sizes. It's little subtle things like that that have a user experience change or consistency, and really come back to a branding consistency as well. It's really frustrating from a navigation point of view when button sizes are different or they're different colors and they're in different locations, and they're in locations that are not really in spots that users expect them to be, because you're trying to be cutting edge or changing it up, and in that case it backfires. So really user interface and navigation are easy fixes on your website, but something I come across all the time that are broken on client sites that we start to work with, and that's one of the first things that we change and fix. A second issue that I see a lot of is slow load times. So what do I mean by that? Basically, I'm sure you've experienced websites that you go to the site and it's just taking forever to load. Sometimes you think, oh, it might be my cell phone or my connection, my Wi-Fi is slow. You know, a lot of times it's the website itself. The site is slow. And that is another thing that we focus on, because here's what happens. If you have a site that is slow to load, it's going to impact your rankings with Google. Google will give you basically a bad score for slow sites, and they start to take away your rankings. So you obviously don't want that. And to fix it, it's a pretty simple thing. First off, you can look at your hosting and make sure that you're on a top tier hosting platform. And a second thing that you can do is make sure that you minimize any kind of on-page scripts, and you make sure that any of the photos that you have on your site are optimized and sized appropriately. Those are easy fixes to do, and they really make a dramatic change. Before I go into the next tip here, or the next issue that I see, if you like what you hear, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up, like us, it helps us with our rankings. Okay, issue number 3. I can't tell you how many times I come across this one. Basically, websites that are not mobile friendly. I mean, let's face it, you probably spend more of your time on your cell phone looking at online content than you do at your desktop, unless you have a desk job and you're doing a lot of research at your desk. But look, HVAC contractors, oil delivery guys, propane guys, you guys are on the road all the time. Or if you're an office personnel, you are at your desk, but you're still looking at things on your cell phone. So going to a website that is not mobile friendly is really frustrating. Now put yourselves in the shoes of your customer. It's the same thing for them. So you want to make sure that your website is mobile optimized. Issue number 4. I come across this all the time. The last 5 or 6 clients that I worked with had this same exact issue, and that's weak content and poor SEO. You know, when you build a website, you want to make sure that that website has a lot of rich content on it. And rich content takes a lot of different meanings. So it could be video format, it could be a lot of great imagery, but it also is the words and what's being said. And I come across websites all the time that have very thin content, and they're just very poorly done. And again, if you put yourselves in the shoes of your customer and the consumer, if they're doing research and they want to learn about you as a company and they want to know what you're all about, they're doing some homework on you, and they don't want to see just a couple paragraphs of text about a Generac generator or a Roth oil tank with a picture of a Roth. They really want to know the pros and cons, the benefits. They want to know application-specific uses for the products and services they're searching for. They want to understand that in a little bit more detail. So it pays off to make sure that your website content goes deep and is rich. And that's one thing that we really specialize in, and that ties back to concepts in marketing like inbound marketing concepts, and also answering the questions that your customers are asking at all different phases of the customer journey. Now, one tip that will really help you here and to help you improve your content is making sure that your website content is always up to date. I'll give you a brief example for all the HVAC guys out there. R22 phase out, right? We're kind of beyond the R22 phase out here in 2024. We're really in the R410A. And by the way, R410A is being phased out too by the end of 2025 or in 2025. So if you have content out there that's talking about R22 phase out and you're pushing that heavily, it's outdated. So make sure that your content is always up to date. Make sure that you're blogging. The blog is an invaluable tool to your website for many, many reasons. And I'm not going to get into all the technical details here, but your blog content and keeping that fresh and up to date is a really good way to make sure that your site maintains rich content and is answering questions for your customer base. Issue number 5, lack of call to actions. I kind of touched on this before, but again, I see so many sites that, and again, just one that I just worked on last week, it had a lot of content on the site, but they didn't have any call to actions. And the only real call to action they had is in the header of the site, they had their phone number. In the footer, they had the address with the phone number, and that's kind of buried, by the way. And they had on the contact page a contact form. But that's it. To contrast that, the solution for this is make sure that on your pages you have contact forms and call to actions where you directly specify what someone should do if they want to act on that page content. So for instance, let's say that you're talking about an emergency oil delivery. Well, on that page, the call to action might be, make sure you call us with a big fat call button that, by the way, is programmed so that it's click to call on mobile devices, going back to the mobile-friendly version of this. And you might also want to supplement that page with a contact form, although I lean more in an emergency scenario, I lean more towards phone call submissions versus form submissions. Another one would be if you're talking about an air conditioning or heating system and maintenance on that. Well, on that page, now you want to have a schedule a maintenance call form. And you also want to have a call button. So call to action buttons scattered throughout the entire website are huge. And looking at data and conversions, I always see form submissions and call actions occurring throughout the entire site. So just think about that for a minute. If your site is missing call to actions on all of the interior pages and it only has a call button at the header and only has a contact form on the contact page, just think about all of the conversions that you're currently missing. The last issue I'm going to talk on is security. Now, the real basic piece of this is, and I've come across sites that do not have an SSL certificate, okay, secure socket layer certificate installed. So if you try to hit the site HTTPS and then domain name, you get an error message. And it scares people off. In today's day and age, people are really concerned about privacy and security. So a real simple fix to this is make sure that your site is on a hosting company that supports SSL and you have an SSL cert installed. It's one of the first things that we do every time we launch a new site for a client. When you execute at the level that we do at L4 Group, and you start to take care of all of these issues, and you adopt the other strategies that I talk about, if you've heard me talking in person or if you've seen other videos on my YouTube channel, but when you execute at this level, what you see is your website traffic starts to grow. And we've done this countless times with our clients where we take care of these common website problems, we implement inbound marketing techniques and a lot of the other marketing solutions that we do, and we start to see a just natural organic growth of keywords ranking on the first page of Google, and that truly equates to increased traffic. And hand in hand, what comes along with that is increased conversions, which at the bottom or at the end of the day, that's really what you're looking for is leads coming in that then you can sell and close. So if you like what you heard in this video and you want to get a hold of us, please visit our website, give us a call, fill out one of our forms, or schedule an appointment online. We're more than happy to jump on a Zoom call with you, or if we're local in your area, we'll come meet you face to face and we'll discuss how we can help you and get you moved to the next level.